Hi, and welcome along to AFTV. We're here with our live that we do every night at 7 o'clock. Sorry, I'm coming to you a bit late tonight, but got caught in some serious traffic, right? So apologies for that. By the way, for anybody who's coming to see the Bias Premier League show today, it's going to be on tomorrow. Bias Premier League show tomorrow with me, Yardi, and Ty. So make sure you check it out, right? We're here tonight to talk football. We're going to be discussing, of course, the news that came out today. Well, you saw a bit of it yesterday, and you're hearing some news about it today. Martinelli surprisingly back in the Arsenal squad yesterday and coming on. And, of course, the one we all want to hear about, Bukayo Saka. Saka looks like he's on the verge of a return. The manager was asked about it, and he said, Saka is nearly back. And could this be something that could be really important for Arsenal and could be a bit of a turning point for us in the Champions League? Not the league. League is done. And we touch a bit on that game from yesterday. League's out. League's finished, right? But for the Champions League, could it be significant? Of course, we're 7-1 up. After the first leg against PSV. You've got the second leg to come on Wednesday. How significant is it to get Martinelli back and also Saka potentially before the end of this month? So we're going to discuss that. Before we do that, I need to address something, right? Because you would have seen some videos flying around yesterday after the game, after the Manchester United game, which involved Saeed and also Julian and myself. I was in the video as well, right? Where Julian went up to Saeed. Saeed, by the way, who excellent content creator, does Manchester United content. Saeed came over to me after the game. I was actually with Saeed on the Saturday. We was at the YouTube event, the Sidemen charity event. Was watched the game together. And we said, listen, on the Sunday, let's link up and do some content after the Arsenal-Manchester United game. Brilliant. Cool. Saeed comes up to me after the game and says, Robbie, want to get you on the channel. I said, yeah, come. We agreed it from the day before. Let's do it. As I was about to go live, we hadn't gone live yet. Well, we weren't live. It's been a recording. Julian came over and didn't like the fact that he was wearing a Palestinian badge, right? Now, listen, this thing has been really blown out of context. What Julian was trying to say was, do you really want to have that representation on, because it should be a neutral, channel. It should be. Now, I turned around to Julian at that time, and you can clearly see it in the video where I say, listen, Saeed's channel. And if Saeed wants to wear his badge, that's up to him. And I've got no problem with it. I'm here. I spoke to Saeed the day before. We're cool. We're going to do content. Did the content. You can go onto his channel and see it. I did the video on Saeed's channel. Did the content. Thought that was it. Finished there. Then went and did a video on United View. Saeed came onto our channel. Did some content. Did an interview on our channel. You can go on our channel, see it there. Driving home last night, big storms blowing up about it. Saeed wasn't very happy with the way in which Julian had responded to him with regards to his badge. And he put the video out and he didn't, and it's caused a bit of a furore, right? Now, let me just say something, right? I need to address a couple of things. Number one, I have no problem with Saeed. We even spoke today. He rung me up today. We spoke about it. You know what I mean? Right? I have no problem with Saeed. I was with Saeed all day on Saturday at the Sidemen event. Me, Saeed, and Curtis. All day, hanging out. We agreed to do content on the Sunday. I was with him on the Sunday. I have no problem with Saeed. I went on his channel. Right? He's wearing his badge. I had no problem with his badge. I went on his channel. It's his channel. Saeed is a Muslim, a proud Muslim, right? And he's you know, what he does on his channel is up to him. And it's my decision whether I want to go on his channel or not. And I went onto his channel. And as I said, you can go and see the video. It's there clear to see, right? There was a bit of, as I said, a bit of a fuss between Saeed and Julian, right? But I have no problem with Saeed. Also, this other false rumor that's been going around that I told Saeed to remove his badge to come onto AFTV, absolutely false. Again, me and Saeed was talking today. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, if you go and watch Saeed, he did a live yesterday. He actually addressed it and said there, Robbie did not tell me to take off any badge. I mean, I weren't even, after I actually did the video on Saeed's channel, I went and did a video on United View. And then Cecil interviewed Saeed. Nobody asked Saeed to remove his badge. And Saeed said he didn't remove his badge anyway. It was under his coat. So that is what I want to make clear. And the other thing I want to make very, very clear to how I run AFTV, and this is how I run it, I don't get involved with politics on this channel. I respect Saeed. I respect these issues that are going on. There are some very, very serious issues that are going on around the world, right? Over in the Middle East, where people are dying. These are not issues to be taken lightly. Ukraine and Russia, where people are dying. In the Congo, where people are dying every day. Sudan. These are serious, serious issues. But this platform is not the place to discuss it. This platform, on here, we discuss Arsenal. This is Arsenal Fan TV. It was the original name. We talk about Arsenal. And that is what I do. And one of the reasons why I've always been that way is because if you start to get involved into politics, it can open up a real Pandora's box of problems, because you get people that have opposite views. You get people that are on one side and people are on another side, right? My side, when it comes to making content, is Arsenal. Or if it's on DR Sports, which is all Premier League football and various different football, but that is what I come here to discuss. And that is my policy when it comes to this channel, because one of the great things about football is that football can bring people together. It doesn't matter whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whether you're Jewish, you know, whether you're black, whether you're white, doesn't matter. Whether you're from India, whether you're from Pakistan, it doesn't matter. That common thing of football, Arsenal, can bring all of those people together under one umbrella. That's one thing that I love. The other thing about me, from day one, I've set up this channel. This channel is about inclusivity. Everybody is welcome to come and have your say. I don't care where you're from. I don't care about your religion. I don't care about your color. I don't care if you're male or female. And it's one of the things I've been proud of. From day one, we've been like this. We allow people to have their say. I think that I've been one of the pioneers in this, because there used to be a lot of platforms that, let's be quite frank, right? Big platforms that you were lucky to see sometimes a black face on it, or a Muslim person, or a, you know, anybody, even a woman, right? We've been inclusive from day one, right? So I get very hurt sometimes when I see some of these things being said, and these fake and false rumors that are being spread around about various people and about, you know, and the other thing is, when people are very reckless, and I'm talking about people who then jump onto things, right? I'm not talking about Saeed here. I'm talking because Saeed, listen, Saeed had a genuine issue. He's a proud Muslim, and listen, I respect that. It's Ramadan going on at the moment. Things are very sensitive. I understand. We had a long talk about it today. We're cool, right? He had a problem with Julian, right? Julian said to me he didn't mean it in the way in which it came across. I hope that the two of them can settle the difference that appeared there. But some of the reckless stuff that I've seen on the internet following this, honestly, right? It's led to people getting death threats and stuff like that, which is totally unacceptable. Even in the chat here today, I've seen some people arguing back and forth on political things, and I'm like, I don't like it. This is not the platform for it. And as I said, these are serious, serious issues that should never, ever, ever be taken lightly. And I've got my views on it. I've got strong views on these things. But this is not the place for it. We're here to talk about Arsenal. And I just want everybody to come here and talk about Arsenal and discuss Arsenal. And you know what? I stand by integrity. When people are saying certain things, I know the things I've done behind the scenes with various charities to do with some of these issues. I know some of the money I've raised for some of these issues. So, and it's not a thing that I need to come here and brag and boast about it. It's not a thing I need to come here and prove anything. I know. That's within me. That's why I can walk with my head held high. I walk with integrity when it comes to these issues. But people, football, on this platform, Arsenal Football Club is what I come to talk to. Let's not, and with regards to, say, somebody like Aside or anybody else on their platform, if they want to run it different, that's up to them. I respect that. I respect that. This is how I run it here. I want it to be about Arsenal. Yeah? Arsenal. So I thought I just wanted to address that because, and as I said, some of the reckless stuff and some of the, quite frankly, I've seen a lot of anti-Semitic stuff today, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Whether it be on any side of these arguments, I don't like it. This is not what this platform is about. It is not about that right here, right? So please, people, I've addressed it now. I don't really want to talk about it again. I wasn't even going to talk about it earlier on today. Some of the guys were saying to me, I said, I don't want to talk about it. I'm here to talk about football. I don't want to talk about it. But it's been going on and I've been seeing some things spiraling with it. And I thought, listen, I want to address it. And to be fair to Saeed, he addressed it last night. I thought he addressed it well. But for some reason, there'd be people trying to ignore what he said, ignore what, and still try and put it like we got some sort of issue. I'm cool with Saeed. We spoke today. We were hanging out at the YouTube event. The Sidemen event, which, by the way, I want to congratulate those guys as well. Sidemen, congratulations for that. I mean, I saw them picking up some stick as well for the work that they've done. Nearly 100,000 people at Wembley, raised £4.7 million for charity. Well done to them. Again, people doing something, not just talking, putting actions out there that can help benefit people rather than just everyone just flying on. Come on, people. Right? So, finish with the preaching, man. And I'm not even preaching. I'm just honestly, I just want people to just try and get along. And it's one of the things, as I said, I love about football. It can bring people together. I see it all the time when I go to games. I've traveled around the world and I've loved it. I've loved it when I've gone to different countries and learned about their cultures. Right? I remember when they had the World Cup in Qatar and so many things were being said about that country and that part of the world and how people are going to be and they're not going to allow you to do this. And let me tell you something. When I went to that country, that's some of the nicest people, most respectful people I have ever met in my life. And that goes for, that region of the world, the Middle East. There's a real misconception sometimes on some of these regions, whether it be Middle East, Africa, and you see, we go there and we do things. And it's about, go there for yourself and find out before you pass judgment on some of these things, right? Honestly. So let's keep it football, people. Let's keep it football. I hope I've addressed that well enough, and I don't really want to talk about it again. I want to talk about Arsenal. Where shall I start with Arsenal? Let me start with the news coming out today. First of all, you saw yesterday, Martinelli. Real shock. When we was driving up to the game, my daughter came with me to the game. Big up to Kenya, right? It was her first Man United away game. She absolutely loved it. When we was going up to the game, she said to me, she goes, Dad, you seen the rumours that Martinelli's back? I said, Martinelli, you sure? She said, yeah, it's back. Right? And we were casting doubt on whether it's going to be actually true and that. And then we got the team and he was actually in the squad. And he came on and he looked pretty lively. He looked pretty lively. And that was just great to see him back. I mean, he missed that absolute sitter. But he was offside anyway. But it was just good to see Martinelli back. I was like, wow, players are actually coming back. And then after the game, Mikel Arteta broke the news that Saka is nearing his comeback as well. He's sort of, let me see if I can find the quote that he said. But he was asked about Saka after the game. Oh, got it here. He was asked about Saka and his fitness and how far is he from coming back. And he said this. He said, after the international break, let's see where he is. His progress really good and he's really willing, as we can imagine. We are positive that in a few weeks, hopefully, he will be back. That is great news indeed. And I wanted to find out from you guys today, what's your feelings on that? Could that be something that could be a real turning point for Arsenal? Because we saw it again yesterday. The lack of threats up front has been killing us since January. The January transfer window didn't bring players in and that. It's been absolutely killing us. But if Martinelli's back, Saka's back, I mean, that's great news. You know, we're going to go through to the next round, bar an absolute disaster. You know, we're 7-1 up. We're going to face one of the Madrid teams. We're going to get to find out who after tomorrow. And that's the other thing. I'd love to find out from you guys which Madrid team you'd like to face. But how important is that news that number one, Martinelli's back? Because Martinelli can play as a striker as well. Remember, he's done that job before and scored. And Saka's back. How important could that be? That all of a sudden you start to get options. You know, you got Nwaneri and Saka. You got Martinelli and Trossard. Or you got Martinelli down the middle with Trossard and, say, a Saka or a Nwaneri. It could be very, very important as Arsenal try to push for the Champions League. So want to hear from as many of you as possible when it comes to that. And as I said, I would love to hear from you guys as to who you would love to get out of those two Madrid teams. Because we're going to find out on Wednesday which one of those two teams we're going to get. Right, let me go. Listen, this is just, you know what, I need to highlight these things, even though that's not really what I'm here to do. And I'm going to do this a lot, but I'm just going to show you why it's very important when you come on these platforms. Football. Look at this one, right? Come on. This is not the sort of things that I want to see. And people engaging in that will just ban you from the channel. Simple as that. You know? As I said, let's talk about football today. Right. Let me see. I'm having to moderate some of these super chats as well. Because not because there was something as bad as that, but some of the, you know, these guys having a go at Fergie. I mean, listen, I know he drew with Manchester United. We're going to discuss a bit of that as well. Abdullah says fans who want Arteta out are ungrateful. He brought us from 8th to 2nd with 89 points. That's progress. This year is his first real bad season. But Abdullah, the season's not over yet. That's the fact. It's not over. There's still a way to go on this season. League's over, but the Champions League is still there, you know? So, yeah. All right. Let me get into another one. I think it's Abdullah again. Sorry. He says, by the way, we scored 51 in the last 18 games last season. We had goals. We replaced Nelson with Raheem. We got haunted by injuries, flop Sterling, and misfortune. There's been a lot of injuries. Like there's no denying it, right? Arsenal have suffered really badly from injuries, but we do know that Arsenal could have done something about it in January, and a lot of it was very self-inflicted. So here's this one. AFTV don't do politics, but were vocal with Ukraine. No, so get this right. The Ukraine thing, when we spoke about it, was an initiative that was being done in football. So when it's an initiative done in football, we're going to comment about it, right? They were doing an initiative, remember, on Ukraine when, they were holding up banners at games and all stuff like that. So if it's being done within football, just like when they done the Black Lives Matter thing and that was within football, we're going to mention it because that is to do with football. But I don't stray into talking about political issues. And believe you me, I get people all the time, asking me to talk about political issues, right? All the time. Literally, I could talk about political issues all day in, day out. When you had the US elections the other day, I had people begging me to talk about that. This is not the platform for it. We're here to talk about football. Big up to Michael, who says, big up Robbie and Saeed. Big up to Saeed, man. Big up to Saeed. It's happened. What's happened, man. And it's out there. I've got a bit of love for Saeed. He's a great content creator. I wanted to see him in the mud yesterday. I wanted to see him choking on his biryani, right? But to be fair, United did all right. They played their tactics right against us. They sat deep and they caused us problems. And if it weren't for David Raya, we could have been in real big issues. Big up to Michael Assez, who says we will get tanked by Madrid. Which Madrid do you want as well? And if Saka's back and you got Martinelli, could that make a difference? Now, hear me out on this, right? We know we've got a very, very good defense. We don't concede a lot of goals. That's one thing we know. Good defense. We know we've got a good midfield, even though, Odegaard would have to be at his best with Declan Rice, Partey. They'd have to be at their very best. But we know we've got a very, very, very good midfield. The problems we've been having is up front. But if Saka comes back in and you've got Nwaneri and you've got Martinelli and Trossard, all of a sudden, that is a bigger threat, especially on the counter-attack, which is where I feel, you might be able to hurt certain teams like Real Madrid. And I've said it before, and people have, ridiculed me and said, Robbie, you flipped, you've gone crazy. I've said it before. Personally, on two fronts, I'd like Real Madrid instead of Atletico. Number one, I haven't been to that new Bernabeu, and I want to see it, right? It looks amazing. I think it'd be a high-profile game. I love football, even though my team is Arsenal. I absolutely love Arsenal. I love players like Mbappe, watching them. I love the Vinicius Junior, and I want to see Arsenal up against the very best. I want it. But also, I just feel that out of the two teams, the style in which Atletico Madrid play, which is, they sit deep, which we've seen the problems we've had against teams that sit deep, and the way in which Real Madrid play, which they're more attacking, I think we do, I'm not saying we'd win, but we may cope better with that. With us sitting a bit deeper and trying to catch them on the counter-attack if Saka's back, Martinelli, Nwaneri. That's what I'm thinking around it. But you may be thinking, I'm gone mad, right? Why would you want to face Madrid? Listen, either of those two teams are very, very good. You can see it as a reflection in their league. There's hardly anything to separate them. So, Michael says, is Sterling done for the season? I'll tell you what, he didn't come on yesterday. Despite the fact that we needed a goal, the manager brought on Kieran Tierney. I thought that was really significant. I thought that was because he didn't want Sterling to come on, give the ball away, and next minute, United are in on the counter, which was they were doing on a regular basis. So it's not looking good for Sterling, especially with Martinelli and Saka coming back. It's not looking good for him at all, game time, but he's not stepped up. Mr. Kaplan, big up yourself. He says, Don, God put you there. You spoke well. We move. Anyways, I'll choose Real. They'll come out attacking, and we'll pounce. I'm confident. Big up everyone. Oh, that confident. Confident. I never said I was confident, right? I just said that, I think out of the two of them, I think, because stars make fights, and as they say in boxing, and you saw the way in which say Man City attacked us more, even though we attacked them as well, and we took them apart. You saw when PSV came out, we took them apart. Now listen, Real Madrid ain't PSV, Real Madrid ain't Man City, right? But I don't know, man. I think I'd rather Madrid. Kusta, big up. He says, if Saka is truly going to be fit and cleared, then let's get him back in for the one of Madrid. But if they're rushing him, then I'd rather him be fit for the season. I'd rather him sit the season out. That's a very good point, Kusta. And you know what? We've got an interview that I did with Dr. Andre, who's the doctor. He used to be a doctor at football clubs. And I was talking to him about that in the video, about rushing players back and the dangers of that. He speaks brilliantly on it. I think the video is going to be out tomorrow. Also, he says in the video that he feels VAR is a factor in some of these hamstring injuries. Now, when he said it to me before the video, I was like, what? Is the doctor got a bit, what's going on? Well, honestly, watch that video when it comes out tomorrow. And actually, it makes a lot of sense. So if you want to find out if VAR has caused a lot of hamstring injuries this season, because there's way more hamstring injuries in comparison to, say, 10 years ago in the Premier League, watch that video to find out the reasons why he says that. It's so interesting. Brad Jones says, do you have faith in the club for future transfers? Brad, I know we're getting in a new sporting director now. About time. Should have been here ages and ages ago. At this moment in time, I don't know. Because I've been let down, and fans feel so let down with what happened in January. So at this moment, I think they need to rebuild that again. I think, it was starting to move, and I was starting to think, yeah, this is great. Arsenal are really buying players at the top table, but after what happened in January, I was so upset about it that I don't know. They need to build back my trust as far as transfers are concerned. So let's see, but certainly, yeah, I at this moment in time, they need to earn back the trust of the fans. But once again, I'm asking, could it be significant for Arsenal if Saka comes back? And like that last gentleman said, he makes a great point. You've got to be careful not to rush a player back as well. I mean, he's had surgery on his hamstring. That is serious. That is really, really serious. How is he going to come back? That's the other thing. How is he going to come back? All of these things, is going to be really, really interesting to see. How is he going to come back? So, Mikel Arteta's claiming that, he's looking strong. He's rearing to go. He's looking really, really good. But how is he going to come back? How? That is going to be one thing that's going to be really, really interesting to see. Right, keeping those comments coming in. It's another one on the Julian thing. Leave Julian alone. He has his opinions, so does Saeed. Listen, there's no doubt that Julian approached it in a very clumsy way. And I spoke to him about that this morning. He is right. These are opinions on both sides, But as I said, guys, let's talk about football. I've addressed this at the start of the show. If you're coming in late and you want to see how I addressed it at the start of the show. And now I want to talk about Arsenal. Is that okay? I want to talk about Arsenal. But let me just see. So, yeah, I'll do a couple more. Pranish says, Robbie asking again, what action has been taken against Julian's behavior? Be a man and respond to this. Spoken to Julian today. Spoken to him about what happened. Spoken to him about his actions. I don't think I need to discuss all the things I went into with him. I don't think I need to discuss with you my actions, but it's been dealt with. And you have to trust me on that. Right? You know, as I said, some of the stuff, even in this chat that I've seen today from some people, not all, it's absolutely disgusting. Right? And that, if you wanted to know why I'd stay clear of this, you know, discussing politics on AFTV, on DR Sports, and on every platform I'm on, just look in some of that chat today and you can see the reasons why. It's not acceptable. It's not right. So let's keep it football, you know? Let's keep it football. And as I said, this has got nothing to do with either side of this argument. This is about talking about football. Yeah, and I feel strongly on some of these things, but I want to talk about football. Alex Blackburn says, I'm a Liverpool fan. Respect you for fronting this. I had to address it, Alex. And as I said, you know, I'm not here to do the sort of society thing. I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert on that. All I do is, you know, I just try to treat everybody the same. That's what I do. I treat everybody equally. I treat everybody the same. Come and see my workplace. Come and look at the people who work for me. If you're good enough, you get the job. Come and see some of the influencers that I've helped to bring through on my various platforms. Just look at them. That's how I roll. Yeah. I'm not on platforms for likes or to hype up myself or to, you know, I'm just going to roll with everybody. What the most, you know, because everybody's on this bandwagon, I'm going to jump on it. No, I try to keep it real. I try to like be honest, you know? So that's what. Arman says, is children being killed politics? No, it's disgusting. If you want my answer, children being killed is disgusting. And children are being killed in these conflicts. Children being killed over in the Middle East. Children, little children. I've seen videos of that. I've had to turn them off. That they're so hard hitting. And think, just because I said I'm not discussing it here on AFTV doesn't mean I don't watch it. Doesn't mean it doesn't touch me day in, day out. Yeah? Don't get it twisted. Doesn't mean that. But when you come here to AFTV, we're here to talk about football. Yeah? We're here to talk about, I'm not a politician. So, of course, children getting killed is a disgusting act. I've got children. Yeah? And as I said, I've been to many parts of the world where, quite frankly, other sports organizations that ain't even been, that I've been to, of my own fruition. I've wanted to go to those places and see those things. And and see, not what we're saying, children being killed, but see those places. I'm an inclusive guy, right? When hardly anybody's gone to Africa to do anything, I've said, no, we're going to Africa. This was in Sierra Leone just before Christmas, in Ghana. When a lot of people were saying, oh, I'm not going to Qatar because this was out of the World Cup, I was there. Paid for it myself, that whole trip. Went out there. Wonderful people, wonderful country. So I'm sorry. If you want to spread agendas, fake agendas, it's up to you. I walk with my head held high, and I'm not here for effect. Yeah? I don't do things for effect. Many people can just do a post. What are you doing after that? That's why, as I said, going back to what I was saying, the sidemen, big them up for Saturday. Not just effect. Doing something about it. Well done. Right, let me just keep it going, keep it moving. Trying to talk about football. Oozing Pain says, love you, Robbie. Be proud of yourself. But listen, now I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I ain't perfect. I ain't perfect. I ain't perfect. Trust me. None of us are. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. Kusa says, maybe Julian and Side should sit down and hash this out. I agree with you. If they can show each other grace, then maybe we can forgive and carry on supporting Arsenal. What makes our fans great is that we're so diverse. All the love. Well said. Well said there, Kusta. I agree with absolutely everything you said there. And that's one thing I love about Arsenal from the day I started following this club. It's a diverse fan base. Arsenal was one of the, as a black kid growing up in this country, Arsenal was a club that I went to and I felt comfortable. I didn't, back in, a lot of you guys are a lot younger than me, right? But when I first started going to football, it's well documented in the documentary I did, there was bare racism around football. A lot of black people refused, Asian people and black people refused to go to football. I was chatting to my friend the other day from Leicester. And he said to me, he's an Asian guy, he said to me, the reason why he didn't support Leicester in those days was because of racism, and that's why he came to Arsenal. And Arsenal's always been a really inclusive club, and I love it about it. And we got fans right around this country and right around the world from all walks of life. Yeah, and it's one of the great things about football. Let's, Yared says, Robbie, keep up the good work. You're always honest and humble guy. Thank you very much. Michael says, Spurs were lucky. Laugh out. How lucky. Oh, man, that got me mad to see Kepa just let them back in the game, Let's get in. I'm doing some of the harsh ones as well. Josephine Phone says, Robbie, I've been watching you since your start, and I believe you're a good man. And Julian put you in a difficult position. But on this, you have to let the whole community, you have let the whole community down. Where is your consistency in it? I'm being very consistent in this. And as I said, right, this is an issue that is being dealt with, right? I'm very consistent in what I do, But also, you don't know the whole thing, the whole context around it. You don't know everything. It was a very clumsy response by him, what he did there. Yeah? But I think some people have gone way, way, way too far with some of the things that have been said with regards to Julian. And as regards to me, as I said, had no problem. Go and watch. I'm on Saeed's channel. And then some of the things that have been said about Saeed as well. This is on the rebound. People saying that, he was told to hide his thing and he didn't do nothing. That's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Richard said, thoughts on Arteta walking out of an interview. Does that show the start of bigger cracks going forward into next season for the players and club? Richard, I saw him walk out on the interview. Obviously, he's rattled. Obviously, he's really upset. He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have just walked out of the interview like that. He's being asked a question. He should have just said it's over. But we'll keep fighting. But yeah, literally it's over. Why didn't he just say that? He's upset. But I think he was wrong to do that. I think he should have, shown a bit more class in which he normally does. Rudy Can't Game says, is Ivan Toney damaged goods? Could have had him on the cheap. Ivan Toney, I think he's doing pretty well over there in Saudi. So no. I think Ivan Toney could come back and still score goals in the Premier League. Alex said, I enjoyed AFTV and DR as a Liverpool fan for the entertainment and bants, not for any other reason. YNWA, Robbie, AFTV team and DR. I even tune in for Ty. Well, Ty will be here tomorrow. So make sure you check it out. Michael says, Robbie, who's refereeing the Champions League quarterfinals? Oh boy, I don't know, man. Even in Europe, I saw a dodgy decision as well in there, right? I don't know if you guys saw that the Liverpool one the other day. I thought Konate was very fortunate to get away with that. Christian Tai, big up Christian. He says, big up Rob. Yes, we have huge world problems, but one thing we can agree on is our love for football. Let's keep it at that. Well done to you, Christian. Well said. And by the way, I heard that you're going to be giving me those boots, man. So in advance, Christian, I want to thank you very much. You know what I mean? He's there sitting there now saying, "What boot? You ain't getting these boots, right?" Well done to Christian. He was at the he was there on the Saturday as well at the charity event. Also, Christian comes onto the channel. Well said, Christian, man. This is what we're here for, man. Football. Otto says, "Big up Saeed, rival fan, but a real one, G." And listen, Saeed's a cool guy, man. We was Christian, Saeed, Curtis were at the game on Saturday, hanging out. Cool. Spoke to Saeed today. Cool. No issues. He was upset. I understand it. Saeed's a proud Muslim. Big him up. Right? Saeed is doing Ramadan at the moment. He was upset. And he had reason to be upset because the way in which he was approached that was wrong. Big him up, but let's not blow this thing into madness where you then start seeing some of the ridiculous stuff that's been flying around. And I'm sure that's not that wasn't his aim. So, you know, big him up. Big him up. Right. Keeping it going here. Harris Mohammed says, what happened was out of order. However, the main thing is that you speak to that individual and it's dealt with. And if that's done, you say then respect. Done that, Harris. And as I said, I'm not going to get into it but done in a very, very serious way because I fully respect that these are serious issues. Serious issues, right? I fully expect that, I fully understand that these are very, very serious issues, right? And I respect all religions, I respect all communities, and these are serious issues. And that's why, we have to be careful when some of these things happen and how some of these things are dealt with, because you see some craziness flying around that I've seen over the last day or so, which is just not acceptable. There's a comment that I'm looking at now. I'm not going to post it, right? Sort of coming from the other side of the argument, which again is completely wrong. And this is why, and this is my advice to a lot of people who create content, keep it on what you're discussing. If it's football, keep it on football. If you want to talk about politics, then you set up a politics channel. But keep it, and everybody respect each other. Right, we're coming towards the end today. And remember, we're here live every night at 7. I've addressed it now. Not really going to be going back and addressing it again. I've addressed it. Big up to Saeed. Right, it's all good, bro. We spoke today. Everything's good. Big up to you guys. More importantly for me right now, I want to see Saka back in this team. We got the game on Wednesday. All right, we're 7-1 up. Watch the videos that we did today. Turkish and the guys were discussing the starting 11. I heard about some of Turkish's choices for starting 11. Oh, my days. So make sure you watch that. And of course, we'll be back on Wednesday. We're going to be covering that game. The second leg, PSV was 7-1 up. So it's looking good for us. But who are we going to get in the next round? That's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be a lot of Arsenal fans with one eye on that game as well. Is it going to be Real Madrid or is it going to be Atletico Madrid, right? One thing we know, we're going to Madrid. That's all we know. But anyway, listen, thank you very much for watching tonight. Thank you for having an honest and open discussion with me on either side, right? And and people, let's respect each other. Let's respect each other's opinions. Let's take this as a learning, that when you don't respect people's opinion or respect people's feelings on things sometimes, and you approach it in the wrong way, what can happen? Let's learn from this. And everything, sometimes learnings is what we need to take. But let's be respectful of people. Football brings people together. That's why I love it. I absolutely love it. It brings us together. I've met people out of this that I never thought I would meet. I've sat down and eaten food with people that I never thought I would have eaten food with, because I didn't grow with those type of people. And it's some of my best experiences from being on this channel, not just watching Arsenal, but those moments. So let's respect each other. And thank you very much for watching this show today. And we'll be back tomorrow. Take care.